Far beyond the spiral arms of the Milky Way, in a star system veiled by ancient nebulae, there exists an empire unlike any other. Its people are towering, iridescent beings with skin like opal and eyes that shimmer like fractured starlight. They call themselves the Carithians, a civilization of scholars, warriors, and poets, united by a singular, all-consuming obsession, the myths of Earth. To the Carithians, the stories of Zeus hurling lightning, of Odysseus sailing through monster-infested seas, and of Prometheus gifting fire to mortals are not mere legends. They are sacred history. Carved into the walls of their temples and etched into the hulls of their starships, these tales form the bedrock of their culture. Every child learns to recite the Hymn of Heracles before they can walk. Every coronation ceremony reenacts the trial of Oedipus. Their greatest holiday culminates in a recreation of the Trojan War, fought not with wooden horses, but with holographic armies that blaze across their skies. For millennia, the Carithians believed they alone preserved the truth of these divine ancestors, beings of impossible power who shaped the cosmos. Their priests taught that the gods had vanished into the void, leaving behind only fragments of their glory. But recently, a dissonance began to ripple through their faith. Archaeologists excavating ruins on their moon discovered a relic, a crumbling stone tablet inscribed with a language no one could read. The symbols were angular, stark, and utterly alien, yet hauntingly familiar. The tablet's discovery sparked a quiet revolution. A fringe group of scholars, dubbed the Silagos, began to question everything. Why did their oldest myths speak of a blue world when their own planet was amber? Why did their genetic records show a sudden leap in evolution 3,200 years ago? And why, in all their star mapping, had they never found Olympus? The answers came not from their temples, but from the void itself. During a routine survey of a dead star system, Carithian scouts stumbled upon a derelict vessel half buried in asteroid ice. Its design was archaic, its alloyed bones predating their earliest records. Inside, they found skeletons, smaller than their own, but bipedal, with 5-fingered hands. And beside them, a data core. When decrypted, the core contained logs from a ship called the Argos, fleeing a cataclysm on a world called Earth. The logs spoke of fire in the skies, collapsing empires, and a desperate exodus. They spoke of warriors and poets, of gods and monsters, and of a people who took their stories to the stars to outlast the darkness. Most critically, they contained DNA sequences that matched the Carithians' own genetic code. The revelation shattered their empire. Protesters filled the streets. Priests denounced the findings as heresy. But the evidence was undeniable. The Carithians were not the chosen inheritors of divine myths. They were the descendants of those who had written them. Their gods were human refugees who'd escaped Earth during the Bronze Age collapse, carrying their cultures, their legends, and their humanity to the stars. Over centuries, radiation and adaptation altered their bodies, but their stories survived, fossilized into religion. The final blow came when a Carithian probe sent to investigate the coordinates in the logs found a pale blue dot orbiting a yellow star. Earth. Not a myth, but a living world. One populated by humans who still told the same stories, albeit as fiction. The Carithians' entire identity unraveled and rewove itself. They were not a chosen people. They were a lost people. Today, the Carithian Empire stands at a crossroads. Some demand a return to Earth to reunite with their long-forgotten kin. Others fear humanity's violent history, whispering that Earth's wars and plagues might follow them. But in the streets, a new kind of celebration has emerged. They no longer reenact the myths as rituals. They perform them as memory. The story of Persephone's abduction becomes a lament for exile. The labors of Heracles transform into a parable of survival. And in the shadows, the Silagos work tirelessly. Using the DNA from the skeletons, they've begun reverse engineering the Carithians' ancestral form. Some even whisper of a pilgrimage, a fleet of ships built in the image of the Argos, ready to sail back to humanity's cradle. To ask the people of Earth, what do you remember? The galaxy is vast, but stories are vessels. They outlive empires. They cross oceans of time, and sometimes they return home.